Mm. All right. All right. We're back. First live stream of 2025. We're here. We're in the building. Our lungs both work. They both work. I don't have food poisoning anymore. Um, let's just get and talk about I mean, I don't live in LA, so I can't really say I had the worst start to my year. But like for someone who lives on the East Coast, pretty bad start. Um, I'm just gonna give the quick version of the story. The quick version. All right. I got a lot of stuff to talk about with crypto, by the way. I've been spinning on things to say and charts to look at and ideas to consider, and I'm gonna get there. But I do feel it's the 14th of January and I haven't streamed yet this year, and I'm flying to LA on Thursday. So let's catch up on some stuff. Let's go ahead and catch up on some stuff. First of all, shout out to everybody who's here. About 100 people in the house from both apps together, Twitter and YouTube already. Thanks for being here. Smash the like button. Subscribe. The coin is spinning. The coin is spinning again. All right. First of all, Jada is 18 weeks pregnant. And obviously I've known since we found out on like the 4th week. Basically, the karate combat in Salt Lake City, the one where Rampage stole my Gucci vest and we were hanging out with Mickey Mays and stuff. That was the weekend we found out that Jada, has a baby in the oven. Have a little baby in the oven. Okay. So that has been a thing that has been a major change in terms of just like, oh my God, like we're going to be parents. I'm going to be a dad. She's going to be a mom. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, and it was, and we couldn't be more excited. Like, of course I'm super excited to become a father, but just like it's still a lot, and we're working through it. And that has added pressure. So like kind of starting there, cause now like, it's not just, I'm not just making money for myself anymore. Now I need to, and I, of course, I'm providing for a family now. So like my mental has changed a little bit. So starting with that, it seems important. Secondly, I had some sort of, I know I wanted to name her Algorand too. I did. But Arya won the vote. Arya, like Arya Stark. Come on. She killed the Night King. All right. Damn. So I started feeling like I had like this shortness of breath kind of issue. And then we got on an airplane to head home for the holidays. And because like the pressurized cabin, like in elevation, whatever was going on with my lung really went to shit. No, I'm not exaggerating. I almost died. I'm not exaggerating. I almost died. For real. Like freaked me out big time. The doctor's like, you're lucky. Multiple doctors like, you're lucky to be here. I'm glad you're still with us. Type talk. All right. And they were like, with the way your lung collapsed, the way it happened, and what this x-ray shows, the fact you got on an airplane is hilarious. Like, that's not good. That was a whole thing. And I had to get a tube put in my chest. They had to let the air out of my lung cavity. Basically, you have like your lung cavity, right? And there's only so much space in there. And, your lung expands in there. But if air seeps out of your lung and fills up in the cavity, your lung only has so much space to do its thing. Mine was really bad. And the airplane kind of put it over the top. All right. And so I immediately went to the hospital. It's been multiple days. They had to let the air out and they had to reinflate my lung. At first, I was convinced that it happened because of vaping. Obviously, a lot of I had a very colorful time in my 20s, my early 20s. I've been a very good boy for a very long time now. But the one thing that followed me through the dark was nicotine. I was never able to kick that habit. Or in my early 20s, I would dip, I'd smoke cigarettes, I'd vape, I'd chew gum, I'd go back to vapes, I'd go back to cigarettes, I'd chew the gum again, and I kind of did this musical chairs and even the patches on how is nicotine getting into my body. That was the game I used to play. It was a really fun game, and and so I was convinced this whole lung thing happened because of vaping, and then on the last day I was in the hospital, my doctor was like, no, wasn't vaping. Like, I'm sure it didn't help, but that's not why this happened. First of all, it's common. It's a thing that happens in like tall, slender dudes like myself. It's a thing that happens. It could have been a blister from when I was a baby that popped. It could have been any of my motocross crashes that started the early puncture and it slowly bled air over time. Could have been it. These things just happen, and it was a freak thing. And of course, the vaping didn't help. I have since quit vaping, and I've been nicotine free for well over 2 weeks now. And I still want to kick everyone in the teeth. Like, what I want to do is I want to line everyone up, and I mean everyone. You too. If you're watching this, you too. You're also included in the everyone, not you too. And hands across America style. And I want to kick them in the teeth. I'm going to kick one in the teeth and then go to the next person and kick them in the teeth and systematically work my way through the Midwest, through the Southwest, and then end in California. Actually, I should start in California. I'll start with Gavin Newsom, and then work my way east. That's how I would do it. Kick everyone in the teeth. But so that has been a thing. Getting off nicotine, not easy. But obviously, although my lung thing was not because of vaping, I still felt that it was something I had to get over. And the doctor said, of course, it didn't help. And vaping after this happened is just dumb. So it's a good thing that I quit. So the thing with what happened to me is similar to a seizure. It's likely there's a 30% chance that it will happen again at some point in my life. All right. And the thing is that the highest percent chance of it happening is in the first 30 days after the chest tube gets removed. Because basically, once they reinflate their lung, they kind of taper you off things with the chest tube still in to see if it's going to stay inflated, right? Your lung has to stay inflated. And there's a chance that it could collapse again. And 30% chance that it will happen again at some point in my life. And it's very likely that if it happens, it would happen in the first 30 days. So getting on an airplane is like a no-no. Don't get on an airplane. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like, I have to get on an airplane. Like, you don't get it. So they asked me to change my flight. They asked me to stay in Maryland, Pennsylvania for 5 more days. They said, all right, change your flight for 5 days, then fly to Atlanta. And then if that flight goes okay, my flight to LA is on Thursday. They said, if that flight goes okay, you should be okay to go to LA. So I am kind of pushing it, flying it to LA. And I had a lot of anxiety as the airplane took off, flying to Atlanta. I was like, oh, this is bad. This doesn't feel good. Oh my God. Guys, because I got to circle back to the flight to Maryland for the holidays when it all happened and we're in the air and the flight's in the air for 45 more minutes and there's no landing this plane and you feel like you're breathing through a little teeny tiny straw. That was the most terrifying experience. I've broken bones before. I've been jumped before. I've broken 28 bones racing motocross. I've been through a lot of pain in my life is my point. I don't think there's anything scarier than that, than being up there, knowing that the altitude was the reason why. My pulse ox was at 92. I was like, am I going to go hypoxic? Is this it? Very scary stuff. All right. So I get home. I finally get home and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make some content. I'm going to get back on the grind. They were like, you should take some time off, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go back to work. Nah, I'm going back to work. And I get home and I go to this place. I got a bunch of new pairs of glasses. I have had the same glasses forever. I finally got my eyes checked and I got new glasses. And there was a sushi place next to that. And I was like, oh yeah, sushi sounds great. And then I spent the next 4 days basically sleeping in my bathroom, throwing up with food poisoning. Amazing start to the year. I literally couldn't drink water. I would take 3 sips of water and I would throw up again. It was not a great start to the year. So I'm definitely going to do okay on my next flight. Thank you to the Glitter Queen. So we had the kick you in the teeth tour. That's right, Lee F. The kick you right in the teeth tour. Yeah, food poisoning was bad. Collapsed lungs are even worse. But we're back. We're feeling better. Finally, I'm finally starting to feel like myself. So I do appreciate everyone being patient with me. These things happen. It's life. You know what I mean? I got to remember to put my health first. If my health is not first, I can't be a good husband to Jada. I can't be a good father to Arya. I can't be a good friend to my friends. I can't be a good content creator on YouTube. So I've certainly, like I said in the Philadelphia video, have had time to kind of recalibrate what's going on, recalibrate my goals and everything. Quick overview. Thursday, we're flying to LA. The UFC 311 is this weekend. Going with the Vchain team. Big shout out to Vchain. Shout out to the team at Vchain. Shout out to my Sonny, good friend of mine, the founder of Vchain. I am on the Vchain team. I don't know if you guys saw the Cybertruck. We got a wrap on the Cybertruck. Let's talk about that really quick. So we're gonna have like a little booth, at the fight, kind of talking about Vchain and VBetterDAO and how to get more people involved with VBetterDAO, and so here we go. Let's check it out. Here is the wrap on the truck. Boom. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Dude, I'm so stoked on how it came out. And I got to give it out to my guy, David at Crypto Chips, man. David at Crypto Chips hooked it up. I do got to say right now I am wearing the Telegram exclusive Get Rich or Get Wrecked shirt, the one that took about 6 months to get out. Here it is, finally done. There, you can only get this shirt if you were an original Telegram Gold or Platinum member from the first 6 months of the group. And I am going to do a giveaway. I have about 4 shirts that I will give away. And unless you got the 4 giveaway shirts or you were early in the Telegram group, this one's never coming back. That's what I love about Grogger. It's a short run and then it's done. You're never getting it again. Love that about Grogger. And yeah, so David from Crypto, we had so what I'm saying is that the artist that did the truck, originally it was the guy who owned the who owned the wrap shop, started with the truck, and he like kind of sent me a couple designs. I was like, man, that's not really what I want. Like, it was kind of a headache. And I messaged David and I was like, dude, you got to help me here. Like, this guy's killing me. Like, I don't want to do this to my truck. Like, if I'm going to put a wrap on my truck for a sponsor, I mean, of course, like, it is a business, and the Cybertruck, it's a vehicle that gets attention. I knew that going into it. You know what I mean? And I could drive around in the black Cybertruck, or I could, use that attention for crypto. Yeah, I used to say this all the time. I used to wear so much Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, crypto merch, t-shirts. Anytime I go shopping, anytime I go out, I'd be wearing some sort of crypto shirt. I have onboarded hundreds of strangers because they see my shirt and say, oh my God, he does Bitcoin. He does that. Hey man, how do I've always wanted to learn how to do it. How do I do it? And just, can you please tell me just for a second? And I always take time to talk to these people. Always. Hundreds of people because of my shirt. Everyone just wants that one crypto friend to hold their hand to show them how to do it. And that's what I decided to do with my truck. And Sonny and I were completely aligned on this. Even you kind of see here. So got the whole AJ Writes Crypto, got the Grogger, VBetter, Market Cipher, EV Earn, powered by VBetterDAO. And on the side of the truck, there is a QR code. It's like back here. There is a QR code that says earn free crypto with the QR code. And of course, with VBetterDAO, you can earn free crypto from either taking a photo, doing mugshot, with the coffee cups. You can do EV earn every time you charge an electric vehicle. Yeah, I'm going to make a tutorial of that with the Tesla here pretty soon. You can earn crypto that way. You can literally earn crypto by going on a walk with Stepper. You could literally turn your grocery receipts into rewards, non-fungible book club, oily. And Sonny's plan is to have over 100 dApps by the end of this year on VBetterDAO. I was always torn early on in my YouTube experience about who I was going to work with in terms of a sponsorship. I think Algorand was already baked in because I kind of built my relationship with them organically as a community member, and I kind of earned my stripes. I earned my way into being an Algorand ambassador, an Algorand media partner. And I always told myself that if it's a legit project that I can get behind, I'm cool with it. And I am so glad that the stars aligned with Vchain. I could not be happier working with Vchain. And it's because they have the most noble, ethical push into crypto that there is. They're literally incentivizing you to do the right thing, to make a sustainable choice, we only have one Earth, right? We have one planet Earth. And they're literally paying you to make choices to make it a better place. And we're completely aligned on that. And, I do just want to take a second to thank Sonny and to thank Jake and, Paisan and the whole team there that, you guys rock. You guys rock. And I couldn't be more proud to, put this on my truck and for this deal to work out and, for people to see my truck and not just think Black Cybertruck, but to think, hey, there's crypto. Let's scan that QR code. Let's learn about crypto. And of course, that will take you to a landing page that takes you to, my YouTube page, to my Twitter, to their social media, to learn how to use VBetter and all the stuff like that. So super excited about that. Did I play in the snow in Atlanta? And I didn't play in the snow, but I looked at it. It did snow in Atlanta. I was wondering what the hell is happening. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, the t-shirt was in the original email. Exactly. And I do appreciate all the welcome backs and all the kind words from everybody in the chat. You guys are super cool. Gregory Ward with a $2 super chat says, I want to get hit first. So when I do line of the Kick Teeth Across America tour, Gavin Newsom, Gregory Ward. And Gregory Ward even paid me $2 to kick him in the teeth. I actually like this. This is getting better as it goes. Not only do I get to kick everyone in the teeth systematically, hands across America style, starting in California, working my way across the Midwest. I'm also getting paid by the people I'm kicking in the teeth to kick them in the teeth. It's really nice, guys. It's so sweet. Walt Disney has a really beautiful quote. It's something along the lines of, sometimes people just need a good kick in the teeth. And, facts. Shout out to Walt Disney. That they the whole thing about them photoshopping the cigarettes out of his hands. Oh my God. Such a funny rabbit hole to go down. Walt Disney in the house. Health is wealth. That's facts. All right. So let's, you should have got AJ Wright's crypto backwards so it reads in a rear view. I'm good. I'm good on that, bro. No, but yeah, so it is going to be on display at the fight there. If you're in the Los Angeles area, I'm going to say that Vchain is the Vchain community, the VFam. We're doing like a little meetup on Friday. If you live in LA, go. I think it's on Flames. Let me see if I can find it really fast. I forget who posted it. Maybe I'll put it on Twitter if I find it. Yeah, I'll find it and put it on Twitter later today. I don't want to search for it right now, but there is like a meetup on Friday for the VFam, and of course we're gonna have like a booth at the actual fight and everything, and the truck will be there on display at the first fight of the year. So super cool stuff. And there is some more to it with the truck, but I don't want to talk all about it. You'll see. Really cool stuff, man. All right, so we got 270 people on Twitter, 155 on YouTube. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, all the YouTube things. You guys rock. Let's jump into a little bit more of the show itself here. I did want to take some time to check back in, kind of talk about, what happened, all that. I know that it's not just about crypto and everything. You definitely want to talk about, life stuff too. And that's cool with me. All right. So Apple security expert slams the Banshee malware hype and reassures the crypto community. So basically, the reason I brought this story up first is, guys, anytime there is money on the table, someone's going to try to steal. Every time. Okay. And I know that people in my community or people in crypto, including myself, have been hacked, have been, whether it's an imposter people. Like, guys, if I message you on Twitter, except I don't have the blue check mark and there's an extra 4 O's in my name, it's not me. I'm not going out of the blue to message anyone ever. So, like, there is a part of, you have to be responsible. You have to use logic and think to yourself, oh, AJ did not just message me. This is someone trying to steal money. Not to mention, this person who messaged me doesn't have a blue check mark. This is a bot. This is a scam. And the problem is that people are really good at deceiving people. And it of course, it pisses me off. It breaks my heart when people that are in the community fall for an imposter that they thought was me and literally lose money over that. That drives me absolutely mad. I'm not responsible for that. Like, what am I supposed to do? Because someone pretended to be me and you fell for it? That's not my fault. But I still absolutely hate that happens. It infuriates me as a creator. Infuriates me that these leech people just kind of latch on to unsuspecting people and steal from them. So, guys, I just want to say that when I see stories like this, be careful. Be careful. Don't click links. Don't, if it's someone randomly DMing you on crypto, asking about your trades, see if they have a blue check mark. Do homework. Don't just assume, take your time, double check, set up 2-factor authentication. That's a big one. I2FA everything. You could literally hack into one of my wallets that has over $1 million in it. But guess what? You ain't getting a penny. Because you don't have the 2FA. You don't have it. All right. And you don't even know what to do to get it. You couldn't steal my phone and get it. It's not that simple. There's more to it. So you got to protect yourself, guys. Go through the extra headache. Go through the extra steps. Protect yourself. I will leave it there, but there is a lot of that kind of stuff going on. Shout out to Mikey Gill joining the Gragger gang. Just a heads up, everyone. We are going to do 2 live streams tomorrow. One of them is the normal live stream at 10:30 a.m. EST. And later in the day, I don't know if it's going to be 2, 3 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock. We're going to do a members only. Of course, I do apologize. We did have the Christmas break, then with health problems, complications. That's all a bummer. I am still going to be making content in LA. So basically, we're flying to LA on Thursday. We're doing the fight. We're staying in LA for an extra week. We're going to the Supercross race, Anaheim 2. If you're going to Anaheim 2, make sure you message me, come hang out. And then we're driving the truck back after that, because of course it's expensive to ship it out there. I shipped it out there the first time. And so we are going to be making content. We are going to be on the fly. We are going to be on the fly. When we get back, not sure what's happening. There are some decisions about where we're going to have the baby. Where are we staying in Georgia? Are we going to Philly? Are we going to Texas? Are we going to LA? I actually don't know, but I'm going to come out and say, I know some of you are wondering. I don't know. That's the answer to that question right now. What I know is that Thursday I have to fly to LA to do a job. I'm going to do that job. I'm going to go to the fight. I'm going to make content with Vchain. I'm going to hang out in LA for a week. I'm going to hang out at Altcoin Daily. I'm going to hang out with Wendy. I'm going to hang out with Wall Street Melker. I'll hang out with Sonny. I'm going to see my people. I'm gonna talk to my people. Ask my people advice. That's what you should do. You need a community of people. You need a bubble. You need to have a good bubble of strong people that know what they're doing. And Altcoin Daily doesn't have to be in your bubble to make good decisions. I'm not like name dropping to flex or anything. I'm just saying that it's really important that you don't just make these drastic life decisions without running it by other people. That's one thing that I've really learned in my journey from being a writer for a YouTuber to becoming a YouTuber to becoming a millionaire, is that if you don't check in with people, if you don't, you really have to not be so impulsive and think you're right all the time. It's not about being right. It's about being logical. And so I have always been a big proponent of, anytime I have to make a big decision, just getting on the phone, calling a few of my friends, calling a few people I met at conferences, just reaching out to people, saying hello, and running it by them. Hey, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with asking for help, guys. Nothing wrong with asking for help. So that Doge might be playing out soon. It already did a little bit in terms of a scalp, and we were right on the money with that call. And oh my God, that SWE short I called Sunday night was dirty. That was like I literally was like, here's the level, here's the target. It went through the level. It didn't bounce back above it. It went straight to the target. And that was the point it turned around. It was the sickest, like perfect, like example of there's the alarm, there's the target, go short here, get out here, wipe your hands, you're done. And it exactly did that. I love when it's that easy. Not every trade is so cut and dry, but that one was perfect. But yeah, so so I just wanted to kind of fill you guys in on that as well. So there has been some progressions here. Coinbase scores another win in the SEC rule-making suite. And guys, if you have a Coinbase account, anytime Coinbase has like a thing like, ooh, we're doing a petition, send an email, do this thing. Like Coinbase has spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on trying to get sound-minded, reasonable crypto regulation through. And they are, like I said, spent millions of dollars on lawyers, all these things. So if you log into Coinbase and there's this thing that's like, hey, sign this petition, hey, do this thing, just take a minute and do it, please. For me, if you don't, just do it, because they are fighting for us. They are. I will full props to Coinbase, and they're making progress. They're making progress, and they are winning. Little. The Third Circuit now approves Coinbase's petition for writ of mandamus. We will get into that a little bit more. The trading platform wants accountability from the SEC's securities rulemaking, of course, and Coinbase is known to challenge the status quo. Of course there is, because the rules have not been made yet. The SEC is working off of a rule book that has never been written. They're basically enforcing off of their opinion. And I got to give it to Coinbase for throwing it back at them here. This tweet here from Paul Gruel. He's very high up the ladder at Coinbase, chief legal officer, has this tweet here. We just won our petition for a writ of mandamus to the Third Circuit, rebunking. I didn't like this yet. SEC Gov for its order denying rulemaking petition, the court held that the SEC order was conclusory and insufficiently reasoned and thus arbitrary and capricious. There's some big words, everybody. We grant Coinbase's petition in part to remand the SEC for a more complete explanation. All right. And there is obviously, let me go back to the article here. So basically, the court said, hey, guys, you need to be more clear about what you're trying to do here. Right here. It's difficult for crypto firms to comply with unclear rules. Exactly. You know, I have literally talked to people who have launched their own projects that don't know the regulatory rules in America. A lot of them like have moved to another country or have some sort of umbrella in like Switzerland or some shit. In terms of what are the rules to launch your own coin legally in America, I don't think anyone knows. I really don't think anyone knows. And I'm not going to fully go down that rabbit hole. I do want to get in the charts and everything in this show as well. I want to talk trading. I want to talk picks. But it's good to see that the SEC has not just had like a walk in the park with these court rulings. There's a lot to it. Even more articles here. SEC must justify crypto policy in Coinbase legal win. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit has delivered a partial victory to Coinbase in its ongoing legal dispute with the SEC. The U.S. court questioned the USC's rejection of petition for specific regulations, basically saying the requests from the SEC were, quote, insufficient, arbitrary and capricious. That's a hell of a word. Capricious. I need to look that one up. Basically probably saying vague. It's probably a synonym for vague would be my context there. But yeah, we properly remand this back to the SEC to explain itself. It should not come up with yet another poor explanation in a long line of such, Judge Thomas L. Abramo stated in the filing. So literally the judge is saying, hey guys, we need more. We need more. What you gave us isn't enough. We think you're full of shit is probably what the judge is saying. And guys, it's January 14th. It's January 14th. Trump's getting inaugurated here very soon. Very soon. Gary's out. Things are about to drastically change. And I think that right now, a lot of people are super uncertain. I think some people expected this year to start and everything just to go nuts. And everyone's like, oh, everything fell. Oh no. Oh no, was that it? No, it wasn't. No. That was not the top. Could it take longer? Maybe. But these things tend to happen when bull runs pop off. It tends to happen inside, actually. The magic happens normally inside the scope of 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is where we really and then bleed back down. All right. And people are very bad at selling the top because they always want more. And then they're very bad at getting out because it's just a retest. So when I say, hey, set your goals, stick to them, make sure you sell somewhere or bleed out somewhere. I mean that. Make sure you have a plan for each coin you hold. I'm not going to go into all that right now. $5 super chat from Burton Stone. AJ, congratulations. You're going to be an awesome dad. But I have to ask you, did you buy crypto on this dip for your large portfolio? Very good question. And the answer is yes. Yes, I have. I am going to have a new video come out today for the larger crypto portfolio. So make sure you stick around a little bit, a couple hours from now, you will be watching that video. Good question. And thanks for the super chat, man. I do appreciate you. Yeah, of course. I know people are asking for TA. We will do TA, I promise. Here's another interesting story here. We got Shiba Inu witnesses an 830% explosion in whale activity, but who controls the flows into the block is saying, oh man, tokens going crazy from wallets, hundreds and 475%, bunch of SHIB, no less than 0.1% of the circulating supply, some big whale activity. Whale growth of whale outflows. All right. As in bearish, meaning that whales are getting rid of their Shiba holdings. However, it became known that most of our Shiba Inu circulating supply is held by exchanges, which is true. All right. And obviously, we're not going to tell us who the person is or whatever, but there has been an uptick of right here, despite almost a 5-fold increase in the course of a day. The net flow of Shiba Inu tokens to these wallets remain positive as the inflows totaled 1.44 trillion, which brings the net figure to 382.5 billion SHIB. By the way, almost 830% more than the day before, which is a clear indication that flows of the meme coin to the biggest wallets is accelerating. So it is happening on both sides of the Shiba Inu fence. And this is something I told the Telegram group just yesterday. I am going to show the Telegram group chart here on Shiba Inu. All right. And I believe I posted this right in here somewhere. Okay. And what I want to say, first off, is we have a pretty clear-cut bullish divergence with this coming down and this shaping up that way. All right. So that's there. That's pretty cut and dry. How far is it going to play out? Time will tell, because we do have this kind of bearish kind of downtrend. Not perfectly drawn here, but here, let's kind of fix this downtrend a little bit. Kind of more like that. All right. So this thing is running out of room here. All right. The point of intersection to support resistance will be January 21st nighttime. So that will be a week from today. So a week from today, but at nighttime is when this thing will officially run out of room. So at some point in the next 7 days, Shiba Inu will either lose this support resistance level here. And when I write 202, I mean a lot of zeros. 0.00000000202. Okay. So when I write 248, that just means, a lot of zeros, 248. All right. So, and then of course, if we lose this level, Shiba did wick to here, right? So obviously, if that alarm goes off, we break down further. We are looking at a 4-hour chart, by the way. We can kind of say, all right, well, here's our target. We've been there before. That's an 8.59% short. That's probably locked in if Shiba does happen to lose this level here. It is above that level now. Also, there is this downtrend that we talked about. We got this kind of downtrend coming right here. All right. And so this downtrend, this is kind of the alarm for the downtrend is kind of more of an awareness alarm, where the confirmation would be breaking support resistance at 224. And as you can see, there's been a lot of wicks kind of shut down here, some crosses here, some retests, right? I mean, this level has been touched, a lot of times, basically since the week before Christmas. And, I would consider that confirmation of the breakout. And where 248, where you can see, all right, so we had this rejection here, kind of top, that would obviously be our first target in the event we break out. And that is about 11% up the hill there. So I would say that Shiba is conditionally ranging inside of a downtrend like this. All right. But we kind of shortened the range up because you can actually see that. And let me get rid of the oscillator, kind of zoom in on this for you guys a little bit better. So this is what I'm saying here is that here is kind of the full box of Shiba's range right here. All right. And as you can see, this is like the outlier. And this is why this is our target if we lost this. All right. And you could even target 1 from this wick here too. Target 1, you could go target 1, target 2. Target 1's 3%. Target 2 is 8%. Here, let's actually add that target right now. All right. And this will be at 196. 196. A lot of zeros. 196. Okay. So that would be target 1. And then we have target 2. And so here's the box. But what I like to do in these situations is I like to shorten the range because with all this. So let's see how much time is this box. This box is from top to bottom. It's a 22% range over the course of 25 days. All right. And the reason that a lot of the trading happened underneath 224 in here, so under this level in this box, because obviously the point of control is right here. All right. Obviously, it has spent less time up here, less time up here and more time inside this kind of more value area, which is why this support resistance is where I short, and this support resistance is where I long. All right. And like I always say, guys, you're in a downtrend until you're not, which is why breaking above the trend line is one thing, but breaking the confirmation is the much safer trade. And that's what I like to call tightening the range. When we say, Shiba Inu is conditionally ranging between 202 and 248. We're kind of ranging in between here, right? When I say I'm going to tighten the range, that's what I mean by this level, this support resistance level. Because since the price is right here, instead of waiting for it to come all the way up to here to go long, we could use the confluence of, okay, well, if it was to get above the trend line, get above 224, by then it would be on the correct side of the 50 EMA on large time frames. I could get behind that all day. So instead of using this entire range to conditionally range inside of, I will, quote, tighten the range by finding a different relevant support resistance, usually that is aligned or very closely aligned to something in the volume profile. And what's interesting is that if Shiba, like I said, does have a bullish divergence on the 4 hour, if it did find a way to break out of here, when you kind of zoom in let the volume profile catch up. When you zoom out a little bit, there is an argument for a Shiba long from the break of 224, big time. Because as you can see, we kind of have the local point of control. But when we zoom out on Shiba, the volume profile is actually up the hill. It's actually above our target. It's above our target. Our target is target 1, like I said, about 5%. Target 2, 17%. And guys, the point of control is 19.5% above the current price. All right. And we kind of do have this kind of little dip that kind of pulls us up in the volume profile here. So, there obviously is an argument here, but I would certainly alarm up big time on Shiba. Generally there is a lot of volume, a lot of leverage volume on Shiba. And we do have some old levels back here that could come into play. And obviously the big story here, okay, we were kind of talking for November on, point of control is up pretty big. You zoom out to like more 2025. Obviously it's a visible range. So only things inside the visible range are going to show up. So when you zoom out further, the point of control actually pulls down, which obviously is not a surprise. But the point here is that, look, the point I'm making is that we're kind of on this cliff. Here is where we are. All right. Here is where we are. And look, that little shift, me scrolling over this much, changed the point of control from here to here. Isn't that crazy? So I wouldn't give too much stock to that idea other than here we are. And look at the volume profile. We are sitting on a cliff where here, I just moved it over. Now it's going to shift back down. So here's cliff 1 and here's cliff 2. And, point of control 1, and there's our target at 185. Point of control 2, here's our target at 248. So literally whatever way this thing breaks, it is going to go to that next target. I guarantee you that. It did kind of lose this macro uptrend, which is unfortunate. And now, we do have this downtrend kind of drawn out right here, kind of like a parallel little downtrend. But also, if you kind of want to go out this way, if you want to draw, let me move my head up to the top here. If you want to draw Shiba from the bottom here and connect this to this and this, it's technically still in an uptrend. It could actually fall to here, hit this, and still be in that uptrend. So that's also something to keep in mind as well. So there's a lot to take away from that. Make sure you alarm this chart up. And the reason I zoomed in so hard on this one is because this is a trade. I posted that one in the group yesterday. I had a couple questions about it, and I kind of wanted to explain the full process on conditionally ranging, why you tighten ranges, the advantages of that, the meaning of awareness alarms, the meaning of confirmation, the meaning of divergences. Guys, these are all terms. You're not going to binge learn leverage trading in one day. It's not going to happen. trading is a lifestyle. This is something I do every day, and I've done every day for years now. Years. So if you're new, don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like you're never going to catch up. You will, but you have to every day put that work in. Every day learn a new thing, learn a new state, learn a new nugget of information. Best way to go about it. I do want to big shout out over 150 people watching on YouTube. It says 400 people on Twitter, about 600 people altogether. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all the things. We are going to have members only 2 o'clock tomorrow after the normal live stream at 10:30. Yeah, Mike, like I said, just send me an email, man. We could, I don't mind making those types of videos. They never really do that well, but I don't mind making videos to help people. Not at all. All right. Any chance of doing a price prediction on Near? I don't hate the idea. I don't hate the idea. Wait, there's a screenshot of what? Hold on. I texted Jada. I didn't know if I missed a super chat there. I'll get her to send it to me. Yeah, but I don't mind making a video if that was the point of it. Yeah, why not? Would you alarm the 200A EMA after? I mean, you can alarm the EMA, but you have to be careful on the time frame. If you're alarming an EMA, make sure you're not switching time frames, because then, obviously because the strategy changes, and if you're looking at, Shiba, for instance, right? If you're only going off of crosses, you're only going to trade twice a year if you're looking at a 4-hour chart, or if you're, what I'm saying? So be aware of the time frame you're on, because the story is obviously going to change if you're looking at like more of a 23-minute. And the 23-minute chart, I have gravitated toward more. Obviously, I'm a big 12-minute chart kind of guy, but I have gravitated more to the 23-minute more recently, because it's a little bit broader. You don't get the timing on the moves as quick. You will miss that initial shock of the trade. Like this, you kind of miss that initial shock, but you will get the broader strokes of the EMA crosses on like a 23-minute time frame. And I run the 23-minute time frame to front run the third people, because generally people like to look at things in even numbers. And if people are looking at the 30, well, we're going to front run them with an EMA strategy if we're looking at a 23. So that's what my thoughts are there. Yeah, what are your thoughts and feelings about GFI, about being a long-term hold? Well, I there was a moment where I did some research on GFI, and I know that there were people, some people in the chat who were really bullish on it. And of course, I checked it out. I did look at it, and I ultimately decided to not go too far down the rabbit hole. I don't think this is a recent enough chart. Obviously, if we pull this GFI chart here, there is TA that I've done on this chart as time has gone on. All right. And it has just kind of been in a downtrend. We did kind of catch some of this big run up early last year. And guys, this is generally how these things go, is if you kind of go support resistance from here, from the bottom of 24. All right. And look at where this thing tested after this type of a pump. And that kind of tends to be the rule of thumb. And we're talking a 492% top to bottom. A lot of times when things really go big like that, it is common for the chart to give it all back. Algorand does this a lot. I talked about in my honest expectations video. If you look at Algorand, it will have a pump. It gives it all back. It'll have a pump. It'll give it all back. It'll have a pump. It'll give it all back. So if you're not shifting with the significant moves, there's a chance you're just going to ride it to where you started. You have to have some sort of strategy that's not so all in, so all out type of mentality, because this thing has given it all back every time. So if we kind of ignore it and kind of look at the more broad stroke kind of ignore the top and kind of draw it more like this, like that. Pull this over and kind of look at that triangle. I mean, the point of intersection probably isn't until like September or something like that. But, you know, I'm not really too optimistic, and this support resistance level is pretty perfect right here too, right there, because we kind of had this dip and then this high. So, you know, and I mean, how far is that? It's probably 100% at least. Yeah, 104%. Yeah. So, and I'm definitely not going to wait for that. This isn't one I'm really waiting on. If you want an alarm to buy this thing, I would say that if it could get back above this one, so this alarm there, as you can see, it bounced here a bunch of times. I would kind of consider this the value area, where you could see kind of before this was the value area before, right? And now it is in that same box. The box that it's in now is in the same box from back here. All right. So that's how I would look at this chart, where the top of, the top of this box is at $1.85. All right. So I would say big alarm on GFI at $1.85. I'll leave it there. I know a bunch of people want to look at the graph today. Here, I don't want to give away a certain chart here. Let me double check my charts, man. Yeah, I'll just do a fresh one here. Boom. All right. So here we are with the graph. Another situation where, so here is, you know, kind of basic support resistance. All right. Not perfect, but close enough, right? Where we have a pump. All right. And what do? We give it all back. We give it all back. All right. Very common thing that you'll see time and time again. And I was very disappointed that how much the graph underperformed the Christmas pump. You know, 167% in 33 days, top to bottom. Not bad, but, you know, when HBAR and Algorand are putting 300-400% on the board, this kind of seems small. And now, you know, when you kind of go top to bottom Fibonacci, running from this high over here and kind of just pulling it like this, you'll actually see that this thing perfectly was rejected by the 382 right here. And now it is dancing on the 7. It's literally sitting on that price right there. Oh, let me pull this over a little bit better. Let me latch this up. It's driving me crazy. Right here. So that's not correct. There we go. So we perfectly rejected at 382, and we're literally dancing on the 786. All right. And obviously this kind of highlights that this here is a big value area for the graph, between 19.5 and 11 cents. And I know that's a big difference. That's a big difference. But we have bounced off the 786 before. And honestly, when you look at just this local pump, you know, when you zoom out, before I go into the local pump, when we zoom out, I do want to keep in mind that from 2024, there was a big point of control. There's a big volume spike right here. I just want to say that before I zoom in, and the volume changes when we zoom in. All right. So locally, we look at this pump here. We don't have any divergences on our side. We are kind of in the red. We are kind of moving back up in the flow here, considering that we were bouncing off the 786. All right. And really, the support resistance for the graph, like this top of this pump, is very close, you know, to the 618. All right. So this thing is kind of in that you could even argue that this could be a value area for if, you know, when this thing continues. And from where we are now back to the local high is about 80% up the hill. You know, I am bummed that this thing underperformed. But the thing is that the graph actually had an increase of queries, which is, you know, what it does is basically the Google of Web3, right? Well, what does that mean? So when you do a Google search, Google indexes and queries everything on the internet about whatever you're searching for. So if you think of, you know, of a big toolbox or a big toy box, you have someone, say this little spoiled kid has 5,000 toy cars inside of this box, and you want every car that's red. Instead of systematically going through 5,000 toy cars and pulling out the ones that are red, this one, what it does, it indexes the blockchain. So similar to a Google search indexing the internet, it will do that on the blockchain. It will immediately find every red car in the toy box. So that's kind of a quick way to put it. And although the price didn't pop off, the indexing and querying, what the graph does, had a massive increase in activity despite the price not going as far as it did in March. So am I as excited about the graph as I am HBAR and Algorand and Vchain? I am a little disheartened. I'm a little discouraged, but I have not given up. I have not given up. What I will say is that this thing is a very clean chart when it comes to Fibonacci. All right. So look, we got perfect rejection. Look, rejection. Look right here. Look, boom, 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 boom. So what does this mean when you see a chart that's very tight on the fib like this? What that means, guys, is that when this thing turns around, starts coming this way, you can say, oh, okay, I know we're coming here. Or, oh, okay, I know we're coming here. I know we're coming here. I know we're coming here. When this thing starts breaking through levels, you got to tell yourself long term, okay, well, I know it's going to end up at the next fib because this thing is locked onto the Fibonacci chart. So keep that in mind with the graph. I've not given up. Certainly lost some hope here. But here's another thing I wanted to point out on the Shiba Inu chart too, is that cup handle question mark is I mean, that's about the most perfect support resistance level you could ever ask for. All right, hold this down. I mean, is this down trend we're seeing right now, is this all just the formation of the handle? 200%. That would take it to 60 cents. Not bad. So let's go back to Shiba. Let's go back to Shiba. There it is right here. So let's zoom out big time. And look at this. Oops. I know it's very messy. So excuse me. Let me kind of fix this up really fast. We got too many AJ squiggles going on around here. All right. But when you kind of look at it like this, is this cup handle? You know, what I'm saying is this downtrend that we're seeing the formation of the handle. Probably. And that's what I'm saying. Like when we and here's one more thing I will say. I have a couple more things I want to touch on, and then we'll go. But when you look at let's look at Algorand really fast. I can't show you that one. That's the Telegram chart. 1 second. Trading view. Algo. There's a random Binance chart. All right. So yeah, this is actually a really good Algorand chart to show. So when we look at Algorand Gonfan and kind of consider, okay, well, this thing kind of, you know, and this was what I was saying about, you know, the $1.11, you know, that 68 cents to $1.11 type push with Algorand. Some people really didn't want to hear that. I think it is kind of below a lot of people's expectations. I think it could do better if things go perfect. But what I'm also saying is that, okay, so we kind of have, and also you have to consider that the supply, this isn't like an even chart when you look at the Algorand price chart, because you have to understand from when Algorand was all the way over here, you have to realize how much the supply has grown since Algorand was up here. So it's actually better to look at the Algorand market cap. Algorand ratio, market cap. There we go. So, wow, AJ's been here before. Oh, there we go. Let me quickly try to get rid of some of this craziness. So it's much easier to look at Algorand's market cap because this is kind of the true story of how much money has sloshed around Algorand without the supply kind of changing the story. All right. Because actually Algorand got pretty damn close to, and this was a kind of a giveaway of the local top. And I did talk about this, by the way. I did say this publicly, that this level right here, that Algorand absolutely had to break that level in the market cap, because that kind of unlocks the next range. And look where it got rejected. Look where it got rejected. So that was kind of a giveaway. That was it for that pump. And for the next leg to be unlocked, Algorand has to break this level. Has to break this level. So despite the supply skewing the truth of, Algorand's pumps, we can still say to ourselves, okay, well, if we're kind of talking about how much money has ever been in the market cap, we kind of ignore these outliers here and kind of talk about this top yellow support resistance level here. Let me kind of fix that level perfectly. I'm going to ignore the big wicks and just look at, because this level was tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times over the course from September to December 2021. All right. And I mean, the market cap is 332% away from where that's been before. So despite the supply growing, we're still talking about the market cap increasing about a little bit more than a 3x to get back to here. Ignore the chart on the price action, just talking market cap right now. All right. So when I'm also would be interested to see that if we kind of go from swing low to here. Yeah. And that's really interesting too. If you don't go to the big wick and you just go to there, because that kind of changes things when you consider the wick, but you just go to here where it's been tested more. Look at where the 618 is right there, right where we got rejected. And look where we are right now at the 786 right here, dancing on the 786. So guys, it is crucial that Algorand holds where it is. That's big. This could just be a test of the 50 EMA on the daily. This doesn't have to be hell or high water here. It doesn't have to be. And when you kind of look at the oscillator, kind of have this little push up like that. Doesn't got to be the end of the world here. But my main takeaway from here is that, one, we don't want to see Algorand lose 2.77 billion. We like to see Algorand stay above 3 billion in terms of market cap. All right, that's thing number one. Thing number two is when you look at this chart in terms of its market cap, it's pretty obvious that this was the biggest value area, and anything under the 618 eventually will be a win, given that we can use this as an example coming back up. The fact that it was rejected at the same level before tells me that, are we going to see a similar story? Is the same story going to play out again, where, okay, we come down here, we lose how much? 60% in 18 days, kind of bled for 88 days, and they retest that level again in 125 days. And let's look at this. All right, so how long has it been? We come down here, it's been 44 days, we lost 38%. 125 days would be April 6th. So, we come up here, we come down, we retest the 786, and boom. We come here, we come down, we retest it, boom. Is that what's going to happen? I'm going to say probably something similar. Not exactly, but the quote about how history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. I'm going to say that Algorand is setting itself up to have a similar type situation that it did before. And I will also go out on a wing and say, even if you didn't buy Algorand at 16 cents, like I told you to, I think any Algorand you buy right now is good for a 2.5 to 3x. Flat statement. 2.5 to 3x, anything you buy right now. It could go more. Could go more. But that I'm going to leave that at a flat statement. All right. That's not financial advice. That's just my analysis of this market cap chart. And so let's look at the anatomy of this breakdown. So let's look at what happened when we look at the market cap chart on the last time this happened. So what can we take away from here? Okay. A couple things. One, we kind of had this downtrend. All right. And then right here, it ran out of room. And right here ran out of room, and bang. So you didn't even have to wait for it to get all the way back up here, right? You could have kind of used that downtrend. You would have got an extra 100% out of it, an extra 100% by pulling it there. Another thing is that although the price action test the 200 kind of scared some people, the fact that it held this level, kind of that triple bottom, and it never death crossed, it never got that death cross, that was kind of a giveaway. All right. So when you get this triple bottom, we didn't get the death cross, and we kind of rode the EMA up to the top. All right. So we had this breakdown, no death cross, EMA test, multiple EMA test. That's what happened. So let's look at this one. Let's look at our new one. Oh, here we are. Hey, look at this. Look at this. So here is our downtrend, just like before. All right, I'm going to go from like kind of the gist, not the wicks. All right, so that would have us breaking out hopefully by March 11th. We're at the 50 EMA. Say we lose the 50, like we did before, the 200 would come up here. As long as we hold the 200, or we could even momentarily dip below the 200 like we did before. As long as we don't lose this level, we could double, triple bottom at this level, or even wick it for a second. But that is the Algorand outlook. And this triangle is the awareness alarm, where I would say this support resistance, remember, this is a market cap chart. This support resistance, also local point of control at $3.52 billion. That would be breakout confirmation. So if you were to get there, that's still 49% to big support resistance. So that's how I choose to look at Algorand. Ultimately, anything you buy now, very likely good for a 2.523x minimum. All right, so there you go. Shout out to my guy, Seth Hammond. Glad you're back, AJ. I missed the show more than I realized. Hey, man, I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. And I obviously have made some, big changes, but I'm not going anywhere. Before YouTube, crypto, this was all about survival for me. This was about breaking the 9 to 5, all that good stuff. Now it's about growing and using this platform to help as many people as I can, to change as many lives as I can. And that is the mission we're on, man. And without you guys, without you guys, that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to get into all the unlocks today. I don't currently hold much Ondo. I'm not going to go into all that. Maybe we'll hit that tomorrow. Oh, we are. You said, how are we not bullish on everything at this point? We are. This 2025. Let's not forget what year it is, everybody. This is 2025. I have not given up on this year. Not even close. Trump's not even in office yet. Calm down. I think, even say you bought $100,000 worth of crypto right now, even if it loses 30% over the next 3 months, ultimately, in the long run, anything you buy right now is a win by the end of this year. Anything, reasonably inside the top 100. Reasonably. All right. What's your opinion on crypto face spider line saying we might go to 85K? Let's talk Bitcoin and then we'll hit the road. I also saw quick couple things. I'll run through these a couple stories I want to finish, and then we'll look at Bitcoin, then we'll go. It took 5 more minutes. All right. XRP eyes $100 if this platform historical pattern breaks. Guys, stop looking at stories like this. Stop drinking this kind of Kool-Aid. It's dangerous. This is the unreasonable, unlogical, dumb shit that people read that make them think, oh, I'm not going to sell, and just going to ride it right to the bottom. Guys, in what other financial field is it common for someone to say, oh, 2.5 to 3x minimum this year? That's not normal, guys. Like the gross expectation that people in crypto have to just multiply their money as if it's this easy thing. Like, this is not normal, guys. It's not normal. And this is a thing, it's a very precious thing that we're talking about right here. It's a thing that you don't get this many opportunities. Not every night's a Jake Paul fight. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that if you need to be smart enough to look at this and say, hey, if I 4 or 5x, I'm good. If I 5x, I'm straight. That's enough. Because if it's not enough, you're never going to win anyway. If it's never enough, it's never enough. All right. And when you read articles like this and listen to people that say shit like this, it's never enough. And if it XRP went to 100, whoa, it goes to 110. When is enough enough? I want you to honestly ask yourself that question. And obviously, don't feed into this kind of shit. It will just get you in trouble. I promise you. Shout out to Italy. Italy's largest bank enters the crypto market with a $1 million Bitcoin investment. Guys, I love Italy. Can't wait to go there one day. Got the Bitcoin pizza pie. The Bitcoin pizza pie. And when you say put the body in the mosh, put the body in the mosh. Okay. And shout out to my one of my best friends, Tony Soprano, one of my besties. I love this story. I love that banks in Italy are entering the crypto market, guys. But it's only $1 million. It's only $1 million. I have $1 million, guys. That's not that big of a deal. Okay. Like, you know, let's not go crazy with this story. It's cool to see it, but it's not like that crazy, you know? But let's hope that this starts a trend that continues to, you know, to see that change. There's a little story here about Solana XRP ETF, and honestly, kind of the inflows, kind of talking about, look the story up and read it on your time. I don't have time to go through it, but basically saying the penetration rate, like how much. So say if Solana was to get an ETF, how much like money could we assume is likely to enter the market cap as a result of approval, if that makes sense. Kind of talking about how Ethereum obviously was less successful than Bitcoin, kind of assuming, okay, is this starting a trend where the next coin's less successful than Ethereum? What is the demand? Blah, 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 blah. So I think this is a really interesting article to check out. Obviously, there is, you know, prospects of approval with crypto ETF products. You know, we're talking Ripple. Of course, we're waiting on Gary to get out. There is also the whole other narrative about Litecoin and HBAR. Is Litecoin and HBAR going to beat Solana and XRP to the case? It all revolves on Gary leaving and the reassessment happening. That's kind of where I stand. I kind of feel like it's a conditional range. It's a wait and go, touch and go, wait and see type moment. Don't get too wrapped up on it, but if you want to learn more about the penetration rates and stuff, check out that article. It's on thecoinrepublic.com. JP Morgan issues major Solana and XRP ETF predictions. That is the article title if you'd like to read it. Where's there one more story? Right here. Boom. XRP on the verge of historic breakout against Bitcoin. Is it? Is it though? Is it? All right. So let's look at XRP versus Bitcoin. Here's the kind of the gist of the daily chart. Okay. And what it seems to me that, you know, this all back here is 2018, 2019. Crypto has changed drastically since then. Also, I'd say even if you are going to use this as an example, we kind of have this big support resistance level up here that we have not regained since then. And as time has gone on, this level has dropped more. All right. And since May of 2021, XRP has not gotten above this level, except for this little baby spike at the December 4th. So I think the point that they're making here is that if XRP can get above this level, a lot of zeros, 289, it very easily could get this next big spike up, which is about a 40% push against Bitcoin. The scary thing is that look how many times XRP up comes down, up comes down, up comes down, up comes down, up. It is kind of scary to buy it there. That I would rather miss out on a couple percent and get it above here than buy here and get rejected. That's just the kind of trader I am, I guess. I'm always okay to play things safer. I do like the overall, just looking at market cipher, I do like the overall kind of uptrend we got going. Not the worst setup in the world. I would look at it like that. That's how I would kind of draw this little baby uptrend versus support resistance. You could even draw an additional one at that local high. All right. And that kind of gives point of intersection March 12th, March 24th, depending on the level. If you're going previous support resistance or local support resistance, kind of changes the point of intersection. But that's how I'm looking at XRP versus Bitcoin. And I say if we break down this or lose the 50 EMA, this is one where I would keep a close eye on the 50 EMA on the larger time frames, because you see the separation right here between the 50 and the 200. You know what that looks like to me? That looks like money to me, because in the event we lose the 50, you know where we're going? To the 200. So say XRP breaks down against Bitcoin. That short right there, top to bottom, is 32%. From here to here is 32%. And anytime you see this, the EMAs get separated like that, that makes my eyes get big for if the short, in the event, if it breaks down like this, that's short money. All right. So not saying that's what's going to happen, but that's how I want you to look at things. All right. Just a kind of little hint there. All right. So let's talk Bitcoin really fast. So what I'm going to say, I know there's a lot on this chart. It's very messy. Very messy. Let me get rid of the oscillator here for a minute. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So what I would say is that when you look at this Ganfan, Bitcoin sometimes spends time in kind of above the 3-1, like right here. Like right here, spent like 48 days above the 3-1. Right here, about 52 days above the 3-1. And then after it spends its time in the 3-1, it kind of bleeds and falls for a while. And it has, although it wicked down here, it has really done well kind of ranging inside the 2 and 3-1, like in this range. Okay. Ultimately, we are in a very large uptrend, but locally we are before where we had this long bull flag. Remember, we talked about the bull flag, and once we break here, we have to break all-time highs. And once we break all-time highs, we can have a conversation. Well, that all happened. And this is kind of, I left this chart the way it is because this has kind of been the story. You got some like random little circles and stuff down here. I've been playing with this chart for a very long time on this channel, and with the Ganfan the way it is. And what I will say is that the fact that we're kind of forming more of a wedge situation right now, is not exactly a parallel downtrend, makes me think that it's not going to take as long as the bull flag did for it to pick a side. Another thing I will say is that Bitcoin, with this big test here and this big wick here, all right, if Bitcoin loses 89,000, 86,000 is very likely. And that's about a 3.3% trade. That's worth saying. Another thing, similar to the same concept we just talked about before. Here's the 50 EMA. Here's the 200 EMA. Look at that distance. How far is that distance? Right now, the 200, it's a 17% drop to the 200 EMA, which would be about a $78,000 Bitcoin this moment. All right. The other thing, obviously, that I have to point out here that is very scary is the volume profile cliff here. All right. So basically, and this kind of, these two levels, this is kind of like the local low, all right, at 89,000. And then this level is kind of where we wicked on the way up the hill here at 80. I'm just going to say 86 flats, 86,048 to be exact. But if we lose that 86,048 level, there's nothing. There's nothing between here and here. You see how quickly Bitcoin shot up once we broke this, how quickly it moved up to the next level. It's like a vacuum cleaner trying to eat volume. The dust is volume. So we lose this, the next stop in terms of the volume profile is actually 73,000, which would be a 14% drop from 86,000. So when I'm not sure about the spider lines, but what I can say about flat support resistance paired with volume profile, paired with the EMA overlook, is that if we refresh our phones and Bitcoin loses 86,000, it's going to plummet. It's going to plummet straight, probably high 79s. That does not have to happen, though. It does not have to happen. Obviously, I'm not in love with the curvature of the money flow on the daily, just like I wasn't in love with it back here. Back here, we did kind of have this long curvature, this kind of long divergence. As Bitcoin was here, this was actually the high point of the oscillator. And then here's kind of where the divergence kind of played out, right? And then we kind of had this play out after that. So right here is the kind of the high point, which is right here, the high point of the oscillator. And as we came up, we kind of have this bearish divergence playing out. But now that we kind of have anchor wave, trigger wave, not exactly a bullish divergence, but a clean enough break to point it out. It doesn't have to be this massive death show. We could recover. They're very well. When I say Trump pump, it could happen, guys. Bitcoin, and look at these wicks here on the daily. Look at these. This is crazy when you actually think about it. Look at these wicks. Bitcoin, here's the 50 EMA, right? Here's the 50 EMA. Look at these wicks. Look at this clear, that candle. Oh my God, look at that candle. This is some crazy manipulation type shit right here. Look at that. All right. If Bitcoin can close the daily candle today, green dot on the daily, close above the 50 EMA on the daily, I'm not that sad moving forward. I'm really only worried if Bitcoin loses 89. If Bitcoin loses 89, I'm shorting to 86. If it loses 86, we're fucked for the time being. Excuse my French. But if Bitcoin's closing above the 50 on the daily chart, I'm not that mad at it. I'm not that mad at it. So let's wait and see. Obviously, no one can see the future, despite what some crypto influencers will tell you. No one can see the future. No one. All right. So we are going to ride it out for the time being. Obviously, the 2-hour chart is not as bullish as the daily. All right. I did got a red dot on the most recent 2-hour candle. We are kind of pushing up in the money flow, though. And this was a little setup that I gave the Telegram group the other day. Was we kind of Bitcoin was for here, we kind of traded inside of this 2% window for 2 days and 18 hours. This kind of box right here. So, and this short right here was nailed in the Telegram group. Very similar idea played out with SWE. Bitcoin was good for 4%, and SWE was good for like 12%. And then this same box actually came back into effect. If you were to long from here, you could have got a 3% move there, or either long from here, got a 1% move there. But now Bitcoin's back into this box. And it is still above the 50 EMA on the 2-hour. If you wanted to check a 23-minute strategy on this same idea, it is testing the 50 EMA. So I'm not really saying go short right now at all. I would actually kind of tighten this range by kind of looking at it like this, saying, okay, well, Bitcoin has flirted with these levels a lot, or even that more local low, right? That actually kind of lines up right here, and right here very well. So I would say if Bitcoin loses 94.8, you could probably target a short to like, mid 93s, maybe like a higher leverage 1.06% trade. Those are kind of the trades where money's made, though. So I would say certainly touch and go with Bitcoin, be conditionally ranging between 97,444 and 94,808, and you have the ranges from there. So there you go, everybody. Hell yeah, we're back in action. Oh, I do want to give 1 second. Do want to give a quick shout out to hold on. Where the hell is it? There it is. Do want to give a quick shout out to Legacy Academy, sponsor of the channel. Much love to them. Basically, guys, this app is actually really cool. Kind of think learn to earn. Learn to earn. All right. They've had over 500,000 downloads on the between Google Play and Apple Store. They got a lot of good stuff going on. I did have an interview with the founder of the project a couple weeks ago. Definitely check that out. We'll have more content on like kind of how the app works and stuff like that. Obviously very cool sponsorship to have. And what I really like about this is, guys, when I say learn to earn, I mean that. And there is a lot of really interesting stuff on this app that kind of gamifies self-education. And that is why I opted to take this deal, because why Legacy Network for personal development? Guys, I want to be clear when I talk about my own story and my own path. I did struggle in my 20s, big time. I was on a journey of self-discovery, and I found myself through self-education and through dedication, integrity, honor, those core values that your parents hope they installed in you. All right. And if there is some sort of science-based app learning system that helps people personalize their learning path that helps them develop their lives and develop their self-education, I am all for it. If you want to get in on the coin, that's fine. If not, that's fine. For me, it's more about the point, and the point of Legacy, legacynetwork.io. The link is down below in the description. It's gamifying your personal growth, gamifying self-education. A really amazing concept, really cool team, and I am proud to be on the team. I think conceptually this thing has legs, and I think that it will do very well. I do think it will do well. But that is an ad. They do sponsor the channel. I want to thank my other sponsors for this channel. I'd like to thank Market Cipher. I'd like to thank PHEMEX. I'd like to thank Legacy. I'd like to thank Algorand. I'd like to thank Vchain. I'd like to thank everyone who's helped me along the way. Big thank you to Andy for gifting 20 memberships. Hell yeah. Very, very nice of you, man. That was super cool. And guys, so all 20 of you who are just got gifted that membership, guys, make sure you come hang out tomorrow, 2 p.m. We are doing the members only live stream. Members only. We kind of go over the Telegram groups. I kind of give my more under the surface type TA. Got a lot to talk about. Got a couple trades I want to talk about as well. That kind of Doge trade. I wanted to talk about it on this live stream, but we're already at an hour and a half here. But yeah, that was very cool of you, Andy, to gift out those memberships. So everybody who just got in the door, hey, make sure you come join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. We have normal live stream at 10:30 and then members only at 2 o'clock. So basically a normal live stream, the members only is a little bit more involved in terms of like education, trading, and stuff like that. So I did not 5x HBAR from my average buy-in. No, I did not 5x from my average buy-in. A little over 3, but not a 5. Not a 5. I'm not for the concept of, instead of holding something, to buy that same amount with leverage. Because if you're just holding something normally, there's no chance of liquidation. You're just holding it. Sure, I see the concept, but there also is an outcome here that, say, if there's a really volatile day, world news happens, black swan event, you wake up and you got liquidated. If getting liquidated with what was supposed to be your spot bag is a possible outcome, if you were to do something like that, I would run a pretty tight stop loss, because you're playing with fire with your spot bag. I want you to understand that. You got to separate your leverage and your spot. You're supposed to offset your spot losses with leverage trading. It's okay to take losses with your spot bag. It's going to happen. That's why we leverage trade. I hope that makes sense. I get your point, but that's dangerous. Very dangerous. Seth Hammond, that's why I'm here, to grow and change my life. Hey man, that's the point, dude. And I'm glad that you are here. You're in the right place, guys. Like it was not, guys, getting people shape and grow. Life is like this revolving door, man. And when I went through what I went through over Christmas break, literally had doctors look me in the eyes and tell me how lucky I was that I have angels. Hey man, you have angels. You have angels. You could have died. When people tell you that shit, I love this quote that I read. It's something along the lines of, at one point in time, you and your friends all went outside and played for the last time. And when it happened, you didn't know that it was the last time. And that is a very powerful concept that was kind of put in my head as I went through this whole thing with my lung, and kind of that brushing my shoulders with death yet again. And we take so much stuff for granted, guys. We take so much stuff for granted. We are so lucky. We are so entitled. We shouldn't expect anything. Tomorrow isn't a guarantee. So if you're going through today half-assing everything, what the are you doing? How dare you not make the most of today? How dare you? Today is a gift. Life is a gift. And some people don't want to make the most of it. They're people that don't see the big picture. And if you missed the beginning of the show, watch the beginning of the show. I kind of explain what happened. First 20 minutes, kind of talk about it. Because I'm about to sign off here. But yeah, I mean, Seth, man, I'm glad you're here, and make the most of everything. Chase your dreams, guys. We only have so much time on this earth. The years for me, guys, have clicked off. And now that I've found some success, I've made some money. I haven't made, quote, all of it yet, but I've made a lot of it. Oh my God. And, I've had family members, ask me for money. I've had family members, AJ, why don't you just ride off into the sunset? You're done. You're done. You did it. You're done. Buy a house, move your stuff there, have fun. You don't need to make all these videos. You don't need to stress yourself out. You're going to kill yourself. You're stressing yourself out. You're done, dude. You made so much money. And I'm like, I'm not done. I'm not done. Because I had people go out of their way to help me get here. And if they put their feet up and didn't help me get here, I wouldn't be here. So the concept of me just driving off into the sunset actually just makes me mad. Will there be times I post less? Will there be times I don't make as many videos as I made the month before? Sure. But that's life, guys. It's life. And for me, doing what I've done is not a normal thing. It is very an unconventional path. Unconventional path. I have caught lightning in a bottle. And now I'm at the point where, did I just get lucky? Or am I really that good? Because if I am really that good, not only will I multiply what I've done, but I will also help everyone who listens to me do it too. I think a big eye opener for me was when I did the Black Friday sale for the Telegram group. And more than half of the group who was already in the group, more than half of those traders added another year on the discount. It's a lot of people getting value out of what we're doing here. They see it and they see that what I'm doing is working. But there is a point, and I think a lot of people that are right now is a perfect time to, a lot of people are scared of the other side of the outcome. And I want you to know that there is going to come a time where you're going to have to put it on the line. You're going to have to be in a big trade. You're going to have to roll the dice at some point. If you really want to make fuck you money, you're really going to have to roll the dice. And when you do, be ready. Get rich or get wrecked. All right. XRP is ripping. Is it? Is it? No. Here, let's look. I did have like the perfect sign off right there, but then you said something's pumping. So let's talk about that. All right. So XRP. Got some levels here. I probably shouldn't have showed you that XRP chart, but hey, you're still watching the show right now. So you guys get this chart. Yeah, actually, these levels actually I gave back here still work out perfect, by the way. Yeah, I would say that still makes sense. That 267. Interesting. Okay. I would certainly draw this little local uptrend like this. I would draw that because we don't want to see this diverge. This looks like it could diverge. See this? Because this is on the 2 hours damn close to topping. This thing's running out of speed because look at how the RSIs, see how the RSIs, these moving around here on Market Cipher. You see how up here the RSIs are with the momentum wave, and here the momentum wave is here, but the RSI is at the same point it was before. That indicates that this is likely to turn over. And if that is likely to turn over, we are likely to have a bearish divergence. Like, because this is higher than before, and this will be lower than before. So that's a concept to consider. So when you consider that concept, let's zoom in with, say, our 23-minute strategy. All right. And what I would do, we are in an uptrend. So anything you do going short would be a scalp. But I would consider, okay, well, here's this last low. Or hell, you could even go from this. I would go from, you could even use both of these alarms. One at 160, 168, 2.608 is that one. This second one, 2.586. All right. So if we do print that divergence, and look, it's even forming here on the 23-minute. It is diverging on the 23-minute, despite coming into the green. If we do diverge, you could kind of catch that. And then you see how the distance is forming here between the EMAs. And like kind of look at this. Like you see how coming up the hill here, we kind of had this distance between the EMAs. And then eventually look what happens. Zoop. So this kind of could be a repeat offense. And even when you just look at the, you know, the EMAs from here, the oscillator from here, I mean, that's a big drop from this point. If you don't follow me, from here, drop down. Okay. So given that, it is kind of unlikely that XRP breaks out big time. It could, but I kind of feel like this is like the top of this range. You know, it could be like a kind of, you know, that's kind of how I would look at it. My computer's freezing up on me. Stop freezing up on me. But yeah, okay. Let me quickly refresh. Reload. Yeah, I would say if you're not already in a trade, don't rush it. I would say 267 would be the next place where I could really get behind going long. Just giving other support resistance, and then you could kind of target 273 from 267. But like I said, the oscillator isn't really our best friend here. The oscillator is not our best friend right now. It is not. It's a scary time to go long. I could understand have gone long like in here, but going long now doesn't seem like the right move. Yeah. Interesting. Thanks for pointing that out. All right, guys. I am going to I went way too long today, but I did want to kind of make up, have a longer stream. When am I streaming next? 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Normal live stream tomorrow, and the members only at 2 p.m. tomorrow. That will be the stream. And then I will be traveling. So there will still be content coming out, but I won't probably have another live stream until the next Monday or Tuesday, which will be a remote live stream. So there you go. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Andy for gifting 20 memberships. Super cool of you, man. Much love. Smash the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel, guys. It's really good to be back. I really appreciate all of your support. All the messages I got, all, you know, when all that happened, it meant a lot to me. A lot of people, you know, had my back, and I was really, really scary. It's terrifying. But hey, you know, that life is there are a limited amount of days here. You know, there's only so much time we have, and use it. Don't waste it. Don't just fuck off. You know, when you go to bed at night, you know if you put in work that day or if you threw it away. Stop throwing it away. Make the most of every day. And of course, take breaks. Don't stress yourself out. Don't kill yourself, but incrementally improve your baseline. 1% every day. 1% every day. If you have for 100 days, you're a new person. All right. So chase your dreams, guys. See you tomorrow. Get rich or get wrecked. Peace.